I'd like to bring your attention to the mass drop slash drop, whatever you want to call them, Dogtooth, designed by Brad Zinker, manufactured by We Knife Co. It is a great little production knife. You can't find them on mass drops. You can't find them on drop.com, I guess, right now. They seem to have gotten rid of their entire bladed toys section for whatever reason. You can still buy a lot of them on Amazon.com, the Dogtooth included. There's speculation as to whether or not they're gonna disappear forever, maybe. So if you like the looks of the Dogtooth, I recommend grabbing one while you can. But they're pretty cheap on the secondary market. You know, they're not super hype knives for, whatever reason. They're pretty simple, so I understand that they're not fancy. Not all of them are perfect. But We Knife Co. makes a much better knife than Boker. And before the whole Mass Drop Brad Zinker collabs, I'm pretty sure you could only get Brad Zinker Boker designs. Aside from his customs, which is a totally different ball game. Brad's a cool guy. If you ever go to a show where you have a chance to see him, I might recommend having a chat. He typically has quite a few options on his table, so you can kind of pick the one that speaks to you. But the Dogtooth. In some ways, a production We knife is better than a custom handmade knife because they're pretty much all the same. I don't know how much CNC they make, how much CNC they use in We shops, but I imagine it's a lot because all three of these are pretty damn good, pretty damn identical. Even though this is a different lock, the blade is pretty much the same. I could not get this blade to fit with these liners because, interfaces are all ground by hand, pretty much. Ground and fed and tweaked and massaged into being awesome. But I imagine that you could probably find a liner lock that doesn't fit in another liner lock. Man, I love this wood. This came with black blade and black hardware, aka all of this. I swapped scales essentially between these two knives. This one I sold because blackout isn't really my thing, but I convinced the purchaser of my leftovers that blackout would be cool because, it's blackout. Who doesn't love blackout? Me. And I love wood. Show me your wood. And something about satin hardware just pops with wood. So, try to find one on the secondary market. They're like $110, $120 depending on condition. If you can't, get one from Amazon while they last. I think all the liner lock ones are $150. Last I checked, they were $150, and the frame locks are $140. Do I prefer a liner lock or a frame lock? Well, the liner lock kind of adds some contouring, which feels nice in the hand. Just because contouring is good. You don't get any death lock or anything like that, but you do have the potential, if you've got fat thumbs, to pinch yourself closing it in there. Kind of hard to do because it's such a wide, whatever it is, it's wide. Frame lock is just, there's something magical about the simplicity of a frame lock. I know it's technically the same strength as a liner lock because of the cutout, but it just feels more sturdy just because more support there. I don't know, man. Liner locks are good, but frame locks are special. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. I think these are pretty much the same weight, despite having more metal. That's kind of Zinker's signature thing. If you ever go up to him at a show and you ask him how light, just ask him how light his knife is. He will, I guarantee you, he'll pull out a scale and put down whatever knife you want and prove how little it weighs. That's his shtick, I guess. I don't think I answered. Frame lock or liner lock? Well, for me, I have sold these two already. So for me, it's going to be the liner lock. Just because I love contouring. But if I did a lot of outdoor activities, it would probably be the frame lock. Because you can clean it really easily. It carries slightly slimmer. I've carried this in a pool in my swim trunks. Just, I forgot it was in there, went swimming. Didn't have any issues. You know, it's so lightweight, it just moves freely with all the holes and everything. No staining on the S35 VN, so they didn't mess up the heat treat. The bearings are ceramic in all three. All three, it's the same knife. They use ceramic bearings, so there's no rusting in there. I'd probably say the frame lock is the better knife. But materials, though, you can't not like the materials.